G'day, it's Robbie here again. Well, in the last couple of videos I did, you would have seen where I made up a mould using a socket. And I poured molten aluminium in that, and I cast up, you know, some blanks to be machined. That's just melted down to I had a car wheel rim, and I just melted it with my backyard little furnace. From that, I then made a filler plug for my old 860 Ducati, and that didn't turn out too bad. And that's as far as I showed you in the last couple of videos. In fact, this is slightly different. I actually rounded off the corners like they do on the originals afterwards. And then I went on and I made up one with a dipstick, which is basically how they originally came, and that turned out very nicely. So that wasn't bad going. So now with these, they use, as you can see on there, they use a little crush washer, a little aluminium crush washer, which you can use, you're supposed to use once, but you can use them 2 or 3 times and they're okay. And you go buy those, they're $1.50 each. $1.50 for that crappy little thing, you know. So I thought, well, I can easily make some of those. So I've been doing just that. I've been machining up some crush washers, so there's half a dozen, which is, you know, like $6 worth. You save $6 straight away. And while I was doing it, like a lot of my videos, I suddenly think, oh, you know, here's something the viewers might be interested in, something that, you know, save money, maybe even equip them with something they haven't even got. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So to make our crush washer like that, just machine some aluminium round stock to the right diameter on the outside, drill it out in the centre, and use a boring bar to take it to the internal dimension you want, and then you basically use a parting off blade and just slice them off like slices of bread, and that's all there is to it. Clean them up on a bit of sandpaper after, just to get the rough edges off. I used my little old linisher, and I might even show you me doing one after this, but of course you have to use a parting off blade to separate them. And while I was doing this, like a lot of my videos, I thought, oh, you know, the viewers might be interested to see this parting off setup I'm using, because it's not the one I bought originally, and it actually works quite well. So here's the one that I bought originally, and got some spare blades for it later on after they all wore out, and we'll have a close look at that in a second. Right, so here's the parting off blade and the holder. Now this holder's only a small one. You can get this design a lot bigger than this, and it's okay, but it ain't brilliant, I don't think. I'll show you why in a minute. But the downside with this is it takes special blades. They have to be a tapered blade, which is probably a good thing as far as parting off. It would help, the taper would help stop binding and would clear itself better. But of course when you go to buy blades, not everybody sells the tapered blades, and so I thought, I'll just put some ordinary parallel ones in it. And of course they don't work because they sit in all twisted. So I just basically stopped using this thing. For that reason, and also the fact that the design's not brilliant. I mean, if you get the tool post holder, and you put this thing in it, look at all the overhang you've got. This is the locking mechanism. So you've got all this overhang, you know, which is just going to cause it to catch and break blades, and it's a shit of an idea, I think. The locking system should be back here somewhere. They should have done it differently. There should be a side mount, a block of, I mean, I might even weld something onto it if I ever get time, so you can mount it back here, you know, rather than have it all hanging out there. So anyway, cut a long story short, I stopped using this thing, and I still want to part off. So what I do, well, I did a quick and dirty fix. I use this now, and that's it. How simple is that, eh? That's all I use. No overhang, no excessive overhang. costs nothing to make virtually, because all you need is the blade, any blade will fit it. And what is it? All it is a piece of square section steel, which I've cut through with a slitting saw or friction disc, hacksaw, I can't even remember how I did it so long ago. And the blade just drops in, and the whole thing just is held in by the screws. And you can just vary your overhang, whatever you want. Keep it as short as possible. Lock it up, good to go. I mean, how simple is that? You know, you can't get anything simpler or cheaper than that, and it works fine. Steel, aluminium, no problem whatsoever. So okay, I'll do a demo cutting off a crush washer with the little setup, and you can see how it works. All right, to do this, pretty simple. Piece of flat steel, put it on the end of the work, and bring your cutting off blade in, move it across the right, and it just touches the side of it. So that's your 0 point. You now have to move your carriage up the thickness of the crush washer, which is 1.45 I'm doing. I just use this little gadget I made up, just a carriage travel, cross light travel. And we'll just use that to come up 1.45. Get it right. There we go, 1.44, that's good enough. Alright. Drop down the carriage. Fire up and slice off the crush washer. Now, I'm doing this dry. I'm getting better results dry than wet. Doing it with fluid is putting a few score marks in because the particles are sort of not clearing as easily, so we'll do it dry. Voila, one raw, yet to be cleaned up crush washer. Now what you can do at this stage is you can also get it ready for the next one. Loosen off the carriage and then wind in your putting off blade and use the side of it to clean up the end of the job. Pull it into it. That's come up perfectly clean now, so that face doesn't need any refinishing. We're ready for the next one. I'm only going to do one because this is the last one I'm going to make for now. Maybe I'll do one more, I'll see after the video. But now it's just a matter of cleaning this up and yeah, good to go. Okay, so we're going to use the linisher. So we're having a slow speed linisher like this one is a good thing because you can put on thin stuff and hold it with your fingers without it flying up and hitting the roof and getting lost forever. So we just use the old linisher. Bingo, there you go, all done. Easy as that. Okay, well there you have it. The world's simplest and probably cheapest parting off blade holder. It doesn't come much simpler than that. So there you go, nothing to hold you back. Doesn't matter how poor you are, I'm sure you can afford one of these. And that's it from me. So yeah, I hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.